fact, 3/4 of people in New York City shelters are families. Nationally, just like we said, the most common age is shelters under 1 year old. Even though you do see folks who are single adult men who, again, are still deserving of all the basic human rights we want for everyone else, that's not the picture of everyone who experiences homelessness. So it's actually, many folks in shelters do have jobs. Folks who are doing all different kinds of jobs, a lot of minimum wage jobs. You can't amass enough money for rent, but you are staying in shelter, so a lot of folks are in jobs. Other people, if you get a job, you then make too much to get your benefits. So you make too much for public assistance, for SNAP, which is for like food stamps. And so then people have to make really tough decisions. Maybe I can't take this promotion because then I'll make too much and I'll lose my benefits, and how much I'm gonna make is not enough to cover the food and everything else that my benefits cover. So folks are forced into decisions that they don't wanna have to make. You know, have upward mobility at your job because then you lose your benefits. For a lot of other folks, it is near impossible to work. Homelessness is a deeply traumatic experience, whether you're sheltered or not. Being in a constant state of stress, maybe you don't have a place to shower. How are you gonna go into an interview if you haven't been able to have a warm meal in however many days? You haven't been able to get a suit, like you mentioned, and kind of get yourself together that kind of way. Maybe your self-esteem is because somebody hasn't spoken to you, said your name to you in 3 weeks. I've had, friends who I've worked with who folks did not say their name to them as they sat on the corner for 3 weeks. How would you feel good about yourself to try to move forward to get a job? The other is there's not a consistent support system, and others are experiencing health challenges. This is one that we see the media sensationalizing. If you read a headline, homeless person does this, hurts someone in some way, you never see housed person commits a crime. Housed person does something violent. The housing status is only relevant when the person experiencing homelessness, which paints the entire swath of people with a broad brush that is inaccurate. People experiencing homelessness are much, much more likely to be the victim of crime than to commit a violent crime. We have folks who have been set on fire, who have been stabbed, who have had terrible things happen to them because people perceive them as homeless, and people are just upset about homelessness, and so they want to take it upon themselves to do something which is violent. They feel like they can violate folks with no repercussions because they're vulnerable. And this is compounded if you're a queer, if you're a trans, if you have gender nonconforming, it's compounded if you're a woman,